This question was asked in Beis Rivka seminary, and I didn't get around to answering it during the school year, so I'm going to read it now. I said in seminary that in Beis Rivka High School there were cliques. Girls gather in little groups. And as a result of this, there's a huge deficiency in Ahavas Yisrael. There are many girls who get lost, and nobody even knows, nobody even sees that no one is paying any attention to them. And the question I was asked was this: do you think if someone is truly not comfortable in their own skin, they should rely on other people's Ahavas Yisrael to make them feel worthy? Wouldn't that be relying on others to feed their false self-worth that can only come from others' validation? Shouldn't they first muster the confidence to make themselves more part of things instead of just waiting to be swept in by others? This is the question that she's asking me. The answer to the question is, of course, it would be very nice if people could find the strength to be confident enough to assert themselves in groups. The reality, however, is that not everybody has that strength. And the interesting thing about Ahavas Yisrael, the ultimate idea of Ahavas Yisrael, that it's non-reciprocal. You're not being kind to another person because you want something back. You're not being kind to another person because it's the next step in their growth. You're being kind to another person because it's your role to be kind, unconditionally, period. And when kids are socially not as adept and they have a difficult time integrating into groups for all kinds of reasons, and they find themselves shunned, they don't find a place themselves. And it's very, very difficult in an environment where there are very powerful groups of girls or boys that are very close together that simply don't see them. The pain that they suffer is unimaginable and indescribable. The nature of people in general, and young people in particular, is that when your life is good, you don't see somebody else's sorrow and pain. The sensitivity of those who do is very special and very, very important. It's called midas tevis. It's called good character. It's a good midah to see another person that nobody else sees and to embrace them and to being kind to them and to include them. And it's especially good to do this in a way that, first of all, does not draw any attention to themselves. And second of all, it even makes the other person, the person who's quote unquote outside, that needs to be brought in and embraced, she shouldn't even realize that they're being treated special. They should just feel like this is how all the girls are treated. The underlying issue is midas tevis, pasha, good character. The Rebbe has the essay on the essence of Chassidus and Yad Shoteres of Chassidus, where he explains what Chassidus is at its very, very core. And one of the four things he talks about is refining character, midas tevis. Midas tevis is a very sensitive issue because it's an emotional issue, and emotions are very expensive. In other words, we live in an age, and maybe this is not an age, it's always been true, where, quote, you want to be kind, but you don't want to be taken advantage of. The stronger a person's character is, the kinder they can be and not feel taken advantage of. The weaker one's character is, the more difficult it is for them to feel kind, to be kind, because they feel taken advantage of. The job of the person is to develop good character. Develop good character means to treat people respectfully and kindly, to say thank you, to say I'm sorry, to make compromises, to give in. And it's to notice the people that nobody notices and to be emotionally generous to them. This is the challenge that I gave the girls. And since I'm doing this for everybody, but I'm doing this to the high school girls, to the girls, the challenge to the girls is you live in an environment where there are girls who are very much a part of the scene and there are girls who are outside of the scene. You be the one who notices the girl that nobody notices and reach out to them and reach out to them in the kind of way that they should feel like they're one of the girls. Are you going to solve their emotional issues? Are you going to give them self-esteem for the rest of their lives? Probably not. But first of all, you'll take away a huge pain at a particular point in their life. And second of all, as people grow up, they figure themselves out more. In other words, the period of adolescence is a particularly vulnerable time. It's a particularly emotional time. If a person is in high school and they feel like a shmata, no one is doing anything to them. They're simply just not being seen. They're going to carry that into adulthood. And if you artificially make them feel good, it's very possible that you'll give them sufficient confidence as they grow into adulthood. They won't suffer nearly as severe long-term effects from not having been able to fit in as an adolescent. And that's the spirit of what I was saying. When we are kind to another person, we're not doing it because it's the right thing for that other person. When we're being kind to another person, we're doing it because it's the right thing for us to do. To be kind to another person when it's hurtful to the other person, like giving a child razor blades, is foolish. But the idea of seeing the person that nobody sees, and this goes on in all kinds of environments, and embracing them, and developing a chush in this, developing a feel for this, is an extraordinarily good thing. It's a midah toiva, and it should absolutely be encouraged and practiced. No question in my mind.